All right, hey everybody. I just wanted to cut a little video here showing a work in progress that I'm working on right now. So this is a fan-made expansion for Merchants and Marauders, and it is basically two decks of cards. You get a skills deck, and the idea is that your deck of skills replaces the need for rolling dice for skill checks. Um, so you'll be playing your cards for the different skill currencies. So there's seamanship, scouting, leadership, and influence. You can see the four different skills that your captain has. And I wanted a way to try to remove some of the output randomness from the game. And so I thought, well, let's make it more like Mage Knight. And so what I did was I ported over the cards from Mage Knight as best as I could, with a few modifications to make them work in this system. And the four basic actions in Mage Knight have become the four skills in Merchants and Marauders. So you've got your scouting, that's your improvisation card. You've got seamanship and cards that let you draw cards. Let's look through my discard here. Yeah, a few other different cards. There's influence. So you'll basically be drawing a hand of cards and trying to manipulate your hand and play cards to pass a skill check. And what you do, if it's just a win-loss skill check, you have this encounter deck that I added. And you can see I've almost depleted it. I'm getting to the end of my game here, but right before your skill check, you'll do two things. First, you'll draw a new encounter. And you can see there's those three columns. There's the scouting, the influence, and the leadership. And there's a value for each of those. And each card is a little bit different. Values range from around 8 to 16. And then once you draw your new encounter, then you draw additional cards to your hand. So the default hand size is 4. You draw additional cards to your hand based on the skill that you're checking for. So if I was checking for seamanship, I would draw another 3 cards off my deck. And then I would try to play these cards to get to, well, seamanship is a bad example because that's only used in combat. You wouldn't actually do a win-loss test. So let's say I was testing for scouting. I would need to get to 12 scouting by playing my various cards. And you'll notice, just like Mage Knight, there's a basic and a boosted action on each card. By default, you play the basic action. To play the powered up version of it, there's no mana in the game, if for those of you familiar with Mage Knight, but what there is these icons in the top left. And so each card has one of the 4 different colored icons in the top left, and you can see that same icon is in the center of the cards that kind of unlocks that bottom half. And so to play the powered up version of this card, which has that blue icon, I would need to discard a card that has the blue icon in the top left. So if I'd play it like this, that blue icon unlocks that bottom half. And the same would go for over here. If I wanted to play the bottom half of this card, I need that red cannon icon. Well, I could actually discard that card to power that up. So there's cards that give you more icons, cards that let you draw cards, cards that let you, like this one here, just like in Mage Knight, you can play cards sideways for a value of 1. This one improves on that value. And then you either pass or fail the skill check based on how well you're able to do there. One other thing that's added is just to further mitigate the randomness, instead of drawing the random card off the top of the encounter deck, you would have the option to pay 3 gold to instead take the face-up card. So after every encounter, you have to discard just a random card. And then that's the new one that could be purchased, basically. So say I know I'm going to be doing an influence check next. I might hurry to go do that, pay for this card to claim that 8 since it's a little easier. And I don't know what I'm going to get off the top of the deck. And that's about it. Most of the dice rolls are removed from the game that way. There's ways that, like I said, combat, it becomes a contest of who can play more seamanship on their turn, and or leadership. And yeah, some of the dice rolls are still in there from the weapons, and the NPC ships end up still rolling dice instead of playing cards, but otherwise it makes it feel a little more tactical. And at least it feels like it reduces randomness. There's still randomness from your deck draw and everything, but you feel like you have a little bit more control, and you get a little bit of that tactical hand management going on. So yeah, I'm excited about this project. I will link to the work in progress page on BGG so you can find out more. Thanks, guys.